There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 series. Couple of little back-end issues at the moment that the boys have dealt with, so we're running a little bit behind
Good
time.
evening, everyone. Just a quick little announcement.
And Seb jumping on over there. We'll just mute him out. And with me tonight, I have Mark Duggan. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, good, thanks, John. How are you? Looking forward to some short, sharp racing tonight around Winton.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing better than doing sprints. Of course, this first race is going to be 20 laps. And the second race will be 40 laps, with the first race determining the grid. The second race.
Obviously, starting position in this first race is going to be very important because limited opportunities to pass at Winton, especially when you've got a high calibre field. So the boys who qualified up front are going to have a real advantage.
Absolutely. It's a very difficult track to qualify around as well. Let's have a quick look at the track. Well, we've still got a few minutes to talk about stuff. And we'll start off by having a look at Winton. We're running on what they call the National Circuit, which is the extension that was put on a few years back. So we start on the new pit lane and we head down into turn 1 and 2. I'd probably rate 1 and 2 as probably some of the toughest corners on the circuit to get right, especially when we see 50 cars bailing down into it on the first lap. We then come up the slight rise on what's known as the old start-finish straight, and then we come down into turn 3, where we sweep downhill into the sweeping turn 4 at Coates Corner, and then we start sweeping around turn 5, around the old cricket pitch, which has now been converted into a skid pan, and then we come into the quick left-right combination at turn 6 into rollover corner, and then into the hard stopping pen right corner in turn 7. We then come down around the tree in turn 8 and then up through truck assist corner and then down the long straightaway down the turn 10. Turn 10, a perfect passing opportunity. And then again, we then scoot down to turn 11 onto Hyundai corner, sweep through round 12 and then back onto the start finish straight with our next passing opportunity being into turn 1. It's a tough track. It's only 2.99 kilometres, 12 turns, and I think we're going to be in for some very tight racing, being a sprint race.
Have some exciting racing around here, so I expect these boys to turn it on tonight as well.
Absolutely, and I've just realised I've had the track map on with no sound, so I do apologise for that. As you can see there, still some technical difficulties. I've changed some things in the back end myself. Couple of things to note then, just going back through that track map, the turn 1 and 2 at the start will be a very contentious spot, and not to mention that coming down into turn 10 and 11 will be good braking opportunities for passing as well. Some very tight twisty stuff up around the back, around Penrite corner and truck assist corner in that section of the circuit. And then this fast sweeping Coates corner towards rollover corner is very important. And we'll definitely try and fix that graphic up for next week. Moving along, we might just have a very quick look. Come back here. We'll have a very quick look at the graphics for the qualifying. So 1 second and we'll switch to those ones, Mark. And as we go and have a look at the qualifying graphics, we have on pole Dylan Rudd with a 1:18.009, which is faster than the world record. That's what iRacing like to call them for the V8s, which was held by Jackson Susan Harlow, our man in second spot from Synergy Sim Racing. Then in third we have Adam Briggs After Adam Briggs, James Scott, last week's race winner, followed by his teammate Jordan Ross. And then to round out the Synergy train, we've got Damien Johnstone in 6th. In 7th, we've got Blake Warboys from WK&P. And he's got Brenton Hobson sitting behind him in 8th. 9th, we've got Andrew Dyson, Craig Schultz from 9-5 Sim Sports, doing really well there. Harrison Dengate, great efforts from the young fella to put himself into 11th. Jamie Dyke in 12th. Cameron G. Jones in 13. Dylan O'Shea 14. I've got Dylan in twice, not sure what's happened there. Blake Delaney, David Kirby, Hayden Veld, Bradley Vaughan, Zach Skier, Sebastian Vardel, Christian Smart sitting back in 22nd. Ben Morris in 23rd. 24th is Michael Angus. Alan Dawson in 25th. Simon Vella in 26th. Bradley Baldwin 27 from High Octane. Michael Whiting from Fishy back in 28th. 29th is Chris Island. 30th is Michael Scholes. Ash Barella from WK&P in 31st. Bruce Tenick from Mag and Turbo in 32nd. James Chastaneuf from Banter Alliance back in 33rd with Jamie Davis, David Nash, Simon Chadwick from 9-5. Hayden Norris from Right Sim Racing back in 37 with Sam Noble in 38. Jamie McKnight all the way back in 39th, but I'm sure the People's Champion will definitely show a lot of his experience in racecraft today. Jared Bailey from Rapid Team Rensport in 40th. Warren Davis, 47th. Liam Jensen from ICT Marketing Race on Oz. In 42, Matty Whitaker from Calamari Racing. Stephen Lawrence from Riot. Ash Davis from 9-5. Matthew Brunt from Synergy. Timmy Nicol from SimSport Images back in 47th. Robbie Bradbury from Century Motorsports in 35. Nicholas Loveridge from Backmarker Racing. And the round out the grid is Tyson Hemner from Autoserve Racing. That is a big grid, Mark.
You're not wrong, John. That snake is going to cover pretty much the whole track by the sounds of it. Yeah, I would not want to be racing back around from 30th down. It's going to be very, very difficult.
Tracy Warboys has asked the question. I don't think it's official. I think the official iRacing track record for the vehicle goes back to the... have to be doing what they call official races to get those official times, I believe, anyway. I think it's got to do with track setups and all sorts of things like that that the official races have that's slightly different to what we have when we have what we call league racing, to answer that question. We'll just keep moving on here. We might just have a bit of a look through some of the times that the boys have set so far, and got some quick times out there at the moment. James Scott's done a 1:18.54. He's our fastest man on track at the moment. Dylan Rudd, our pole sitter, he's out there as well. He's definitely looking a bit racing because we've got another 14 minutes to go here in in practice. Who do you reckon's going to be the person to watch tonight, Mark?
Well, obviously Dylan Rudd's got some good speed around here. James Scott, the winner from last week, is clearly going to be another one to watch because he absolutely dominated last week. Jackson Susan Harlow, but I can't see him in the server at the moment, so I'm hoping he's going to be here for the race. He'll be another definite one to watch, starting from second place on the grid.
And of course he missed out last week because of power outage, so a bit difficult, a bit disappointing for his series if he misses out twice in a row.
Yeah, I'm just looking for his name on the list, I just can't see it.
It's not showing up on mine. Of course, the driver of the round last week, the driver of the day was Cameron Jones. So Cameron Jones has qualified quite well for this one as well, where last week he was fighting his way from the back. So we can see how Cameron goes. We're looking forward to that one.
Yeah, well, I remember James Scott said last week he hadn't cut a lap at Winton yet, so it'll be interesting to see how much he's come to grips with the Winton layout, because it's definitely a difficult layout to find your way around and get good consistent lap times. Lots of changes to the direction, which we all know the V8 supercar does not like.
Yes, and of course the other one that will be quite high on the agenda tonight will be, and particularly for quite a few of these boys. I think there's a handful of them in this group. By a handful, I'm probably talking about 6 or 7 of them that are in the Logitech GE series, in the Pro Series that's running at the moment. And these boys, of course, are back here next Wednesday night for their super sprints at Winton. So I'm pretty sure a few of these boys will be using this session as a big tune-up for that.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, it'll be vital miles around here under race conditions to prep themselves for next Wednesday night.
So a lot to play for, as we still got another 12 minutes before we get into this first race. Tonight, we're lucky enough again, we've got the old webcams going again. We've got Blake Warboys in the house tonight. So Blake, of course, did the old driver cam for us last week, and we can see he's got his off the track there. It's a great way to flick straight to him. Nice work, Blake. And in the background there, we've got Nathan Brown, my co-commentator from season 1, back behind the wheel again, and starting on the front row of split 2. So for those following at home, it's not just the 50 cars we've got here. We've got another 30 cars racing in split 2 at the moment as well. So going to be quite interesting to see how these boys all go, and be interesting to hear later on some of the war stories from split 2, because I'd imagine that's going to be just as competitive as it was last week.
Yeah, and fantastic to see that, you know, like the series has taken off big time with, you know, 80 drivers over 2 splits tonight. That's an awesome effort for the boys. And, just goes to show you that Supercheap Auto did very well sponsoring this series.
Yes, that's right. The boys playing for prizes from Supercheap for the winner of the series, and the rest of the podium as well. So looking forward to watching the battle start to unfold as we get deeper into the championship. And a bit of a look around here. Jared Bailey, of course. A nice new looking livery for Jared there. A big shout out to Mary Partridge, Harrison Dangate's grandmother. Harrison in the pits at the moment. Of course, being a small pit lane, the cars are merging together. Harrison not on track. And a few of these boys now would be starting to get themselves settled as we move in with 9 minutes to go.
And it looks like we could be starting. We might not have Jackson Susan Harlow for this race, which is a shame. I just still cannot see him in the list. I'm not sure if anybody else has been in touch with Jackson, but yeah, he's definitely not in here, which is a shame.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything on the late mail, so not sure what's going on there with Jackson. I'm sure the boys will let us know a bit later on. Let's have a bit of a look through. Stefan Lawrence again, another one of the Riot boys. Another great effort from these boys to get themselves up into split 1. Timmy Nichols from Pecky Performance Racing, but he's running the Sim Sport Image logo tonight, or livery tonight, sorry. Looking for some Sim Sport images. Timmy is very good at it. Did the Vets logos for, sorry, Vets images for quite a few seasons there for a while.
Yeah, Timmy does a great job with the photography, and he's clearly got a lot of talent for it. And if you want to see some good snapshots from iRacing, check out Tim's Facebook page.
And let's have a look. We've got Sam Noble, 9.5. So a good opportunity while we run down the practice clock here to have a good look at who we've got in the split tonight. Of course, Jamie McKnight, the People's Champion. Most winningest driver in the V8 vets. And let's keep working. And another one of the Century Motorsport boys, Simon Vella. Great effort from Simon to get into split one as well.
Yeah, Simon's a good young driver as well, and good to see Cameron Jones got some company up here this week in split one with the Century Motorsport boys.
Who else we got on track? Of course, James Chastanoof. Chasty, as he likes to be known. Of course, running the new BAR livery. Of course, the start of this season, we saw the amalgamation of PRA and EMU Sim Racing.
And great looking liveries they've got done on them cars as well. They've done an excellent job with the combination of them two teams.
They always had well-presented cars, just doubling down and doing it twice as good. Not sure if Dave Baldock had anything to do with the artwork this time or not, but yeah, they definitely do look very smart.
Well, Dave being the vicious manager, team manager he is, he would have just barked orders and everybody would have complied.
Dave wouldn't do that. Surely not. And who else we got? Kenny Ladder from Synergy Sim Racing. He's qualified reasonably well, which is good to see. And Zach Skier. So 50 cars coming down into turn one here is going to be absolutely hectic. There is not much room. A lot of grass, a lot of curbs are going to get ridden. You don't want to get wide out there under those ripples.
You must have read my mind, John, because I was just thinking exactly the same thing. Like 50 cars around here off the start line is going to be absolutely madness. The field's twice the size of the real V8 supercar grid, so and there was plenty of bump and grinding in that, so I expect there'll be a bit here as well.
Oh yeah. Put it this way, I would not like to be race controlled at night.
No, there could be a few post-race reviews.
Mm. And it is a very tight, narrow circuit, and we raced here in Vets a few weeks back, but it was a 250k race, not a sprint race. But it was a very difficult track to set up a pass, and you really had to wait for the guy in front to make the minute mistake to get the job done.
Yeah, definitely right, John. It's a very, very difficult track to set up and move on because you don't get an opportunity to really get any draft, and it's very difficult to exit them really low, slow speed corners unless the driver in front of you makes a slight mistake on exit of a corner. It's very hard to pick up enough pace to get moved done on the straight. So yeah, it's a bit of a track that really does your head in at times.
Absolutely. As we come into the last 3.5 minutes here. And of course, if you're following along at home, don't forget we're running subscriber only chat tonight. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button to WK&P TV. Jump in the chat, let us know who you're supporting, and we'll definitely go out of our way to try and give them a bit of airtime and a bit of a shout. And yeah, hit the like button as well. And hopefully with the subscriber chat tonight, we won't get the spam we got last week, which was pretty horrendous.
So we're down to 2.5 minutes before the boys grid up, and just want to give a shout out to Jamie McKnight, the People's Champion. Has been the People's Champion for me this past week. He's reached out after I've had a difficult week and some good counsel and been a good friend. So I'd just like to personally say thanks to Jamie tonight.
It was a fun week in that sense, Mark, for yourself. It's always a pleasure to have you here with us, mate. And yeah, it's Jamie is an absolute true gentleman and a legend, and with a business like his that keeps him so busy, I just don't know how he finds the time to do it all, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's the energized as a bunny in true life form, I think. Like, yeah, I don't know how he gets everything done, but he's clearly got a lot of talent on and off the track, and yeah, he's been a good friend to me this week. So
No, that's good.
Thank you.
Good to hear, Mark. New face in Split 1 this week, Liam Jensen from ICI Marketing Race on Oz. Interestingly enough, we've got another green car in the series. Make it a bit harder to spot the WK&P cars with a few more green cars out there.
Yeah, some great good looking liveries out there, and yeah, the boys put a lot of effort into presenting their cars as well as they do, and yeah, I mean, everybody in the series puts a lot of effort into their time on and off the track for performance and presentation.
Yeah, good liveries definitely make the series. And someone doing some work in the skid pan behind there. Quite a popular spot in Winton. And we're coming now to time to grid up as practice comes to an end. So first race is for 20 laps, and it is going to be an absolute belter. And we go into it now, and it is going to be 20 laps. Boys have one fast repair, 25 incident points, and no pit stops in this first race. And then in the second race, we then have 40 laps with a one compulsory pit stop. So it'll be very interesting to see how these boys all go about their business with this first race. And
Yeah, that second race is going to be a busy pit lane, and it's not an easy pit lane to navigate.
No, and it's going to be very interesting to watch that one. I have to watch the pit lane very closely as wait for the grid to get sorted here. Waiting for things to get settled. Of course, we've got Richie Barella in the safety car again tonight. He's quite good. Richie's quite experienced now in the role with the East Coast Series, doing it for his third season in a row. And start to wait for these boys to get on the grid. You can't be too far away. So I think they're having a 1 or 2 minute break before they grid up. And of course, running different times on different servers here. So we'll definitely be underway shortly. And Jackson Susan Harlow definitely hasn't entered the server in time to grid up, which is disappointing.
Am I saying the grid in the wrong order here, or?
That's what I'm trying to work out myself. And it's definitely showing up in the wrong order there at the moment, but I'm not sure whether he's advancing it to the second heat. The second heat was 20 as well.
Okay.
That's why I'm just waiting, whether he's just giving the boys a 5 minute break.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the chat here, see if I can pick up anything.
Please be gentle. I will give you fast guys room.
Okay, and nothing coming up in my chat about anything being out of whack, so I'm assuming we're about to go racing any second now. And yeah, Dylan Thomas with the grid being wrong. Yeah, Rudd is on pole. Just waiting for things to settle down here, trying to work out what's happening ourselves. Of course, sometimes we're not directly fed into race control.
Green flag.
We're away. Dylan Rudd, the grid is wrong, but we've gone. So not sure what's happened there, but we are racing. It's got cars on the grass coming into turn one. Everyone wide. And plenty of carnage down the back end here. Tries to try and keep up with it all.
Get involved.
And of course, everything going through so quick it's not funny. I can't keep up, and it sounds like the safety car might be out already. Looking at the speed everyone's going.
Safety car definitely out. Blake Delaney jumped the start and then stalled by the look of it, and so he's got a black flag.
And so we have Alan Dawson from Riot, our race leader. He's already pulling them all up nice and quickly. We might just see while we're under this, we might just head back and just see if we can watch this from a different angle. As you can imagine, it's a long way back. And just go set this up here. Just bear with me for 1 second. As we go to the Supercheap Auto replay, head down to the back of the grid here a little bit. So one of the guys off a bit slow there, definitely 3 wide. And coming down into here, into the compression we talked about, 3 and 4 wide. One guy already off to the side there, a bit of touching there. 2 gets pushed off into the wall. Definitely not the easiest of starts for everybody. And let's just see if we can try and work out what happened to Jamie. Have a look at McKnight. So McKnight gets a little bit wide, takes the smart move, stays out of the traffic, but comes back into the traffic, causes an absolute concertina in there and gets clipped himself. So definitely the pinball wizard call was correct there, Mark, for Jamie. Somehow ends up coming out straight.
Yeah, that's yeah, he almost got through. Like it was like millimeters, and he would have been right through the middle of it. But anyway, lots of people with lots of damage, so it's a shame, but nothing we didn't predict really.
No. And a lot of cars out of place as well because of this mixed up grid start. So I'm not sure what's happened with all that, but I'm sure it'll be a talking point after the race amongst the drivers. And we might go back to live pictures now. Just to have a look as the boys are under the safety car. And Richie Barella, of course, our driver tonight, the Supercheap Auto safety car. And
Hopefully Richard's fueled that safety car up by the look of it.
so let's have a quick run down the order. And Dylan Rudd is actually down in 46th spot, so I'm not sure what happened to Dylan there. I think he might have been caught up in the pinball mess as well. But Alan Dawson is on 1, Matty Whitaker is 2, Michael Whiting. Wallboys is up to 4th, Liam Jensen is up to 5th. And Ash Barella is 6, Matthew Scholes is 7, Andrew Dyson 8, Kirby 9, Delaney 10, Chastanoof is 11, 12 is Sam Noble, Matty Brunt is 13th, Bradley Vaughan's up 10 spots into 14th, Damien Johnstone, and we're away. Caught me napping. There's the green flag racing. So great little getaway there from Alan Dawson. Whittaker under a bit of pressure here from Michael Whiting. Michael Whiting getting up the inside as we come into Coates Corner. Warboys comes through as well. And Barella now looking a bit racy on Jensen behind. But our race leader at the moment is Alan Dawson. Brenton Hobson going backwards. Not sure what's happened to Hobbo. Looks like he's off the track there. That's a bit disappointing. And Matthew Scholes getting the job done here. Oh, Andrew Dyson loses it. Clips the car inside, which I think was one of the BAR cars. And getting a little bit of help there from one of the Synergy boys.
A lot of experienced drivers making a few errors tonight, which is not what we're used to seeing, but Alan Dawson out front doing a great job, got a great restart.
Yeah, Alan, of course, from Right Sim Racing. Of course, new to the series, the Riot boys. So I haven't seen too much of Alan. Michael Whiting, of course, from Fishy. We know Michael very well. And he's doing very well with War Boys, keeping the pressure on behind him. And these guys now have bumped out to a little bit of a gap. So they managed to get 1.2 seconds ahead of Matt Whittaker. So a little bit of a gap there forming. War Boys, of course, keeping Whiting honest. As we might just stay with this for a second.
Yeah, Blake doing a good job and putting a lot of pressure on Michael, so it'll be interesting to see if Michael can withstand that pressure over these next 17 laps.
One of the things we always get here at Winton, of course, is close nose to tail racing. We might leave this battle, go back. Sam Noble, Matthew Brunt having a great little battle here. And someone coming up the inside there, looks like Damien Johnstone. A little bit loose. Whoa. That looks like Sam Noble in a bit of trouble there. Caught up, I think, not sure if it was, I think it might have been Damien Johnstone.
Yeah, Damien Johnstone looking like he's got a bit of damage from that, which is bad luck for Damien.
Looks like he's had more hits than the Beatles. But readdressing. And we might just come back, another good little battle back here with Jordan Ross and Harrison Dengate. Definitely guys putting moves on everywhere here. Just don't know where to look with this group. Stephen Lawrence from Riot in the middle of all this.
Oh, now we've got another one in the front on the front straight, like one of the Riot boys.
Just trying to work out who that is. Nope, it's Christian Smart in against the wall there. I didn't see what happened to Christian. But he's going backwards. Jump back on Damien Johnson, who's under all sorts of pressure. With Seb Fardel going out onto the grass there. And Dengate managing to get past, I think. So we've got some big movers. Dengate's up 25 spots. Simon Chadwick's up 27 spots. Jump on with Simon, back of this train here as well. Then we also have Jared Bailey up 24 and Seb Fardell, he's up 26 spots. So these boys are doing really well back in this mid group here. from Simon Chadwick. And I think someone's just spun. Was that Seb? No, someone else in the background. And jump up with Chastity. Chastity under a bit of pressure. It's got Andrew Dyson right behind him from the simrig.com DPR team.
Certainly making for some interesting racing with these mixed grid, and a lot of the fast boys ending up at the back of the starting grid for whatever reason, but it's certainly produced some pretty wild rides.
Not wrong. Not wrong at all. As Chastity here, it's got Andrew Dyson coming up the inside. It's a great little pass there from Andrew. Gets the job done. Hangs too wide. Round the tree. Comes up in the truck assist corner. And we've got Bradley Vaughan having a look in here as well. Let's keep this battle here interesting. And we might just jump back a little bit. Dylan O'Shea doing quite well back here. Another one from the simrig.com DPR team.
Dylan had a great drive last week. I expect come race 2, I expect him to be battling in front again. And Michael Whiting and Blake Wallboys really latched onto the back of Alan Dawson at the front here. Michael Whiting actually looking to move on, but can't quite finish it.
And word just in from the boys at Pursuit Sim Racing. There is no points for this race because of the muddled grid, so it's a free-for-all. But it's still very entertaining to watch. As Michael Whiting now under all sorts of pressure from Warboys.
Pressure from Blake Warboys has allowed Dawson to just open up a couple of car lengths again because they were nose to tail at turn 2. So Michael Whiting trying to fend off Blake now, and both two good drives, and you can see how difficult it is to pass around here.
Warboys with a big lunge on the inside. Doesn't get the job done though. It's definitely one of those corners that the guy on the outside just gets that better drive coming out.
Yeah, absolutely right, John. Like, you can send it up the inside at a few corners here, but if you cannot get on the pedal early enough, you will not complete the move.
And Andrew Dyson, it's another big move in there to go up into 6th. And of course, as mentioned before, no points for this race due to a grid error. Someone off on the wall there, didn't see who that was. And of course, we're up to lap 9 of 20 here, as we might just jump back, try and have a look at a few different names. Jump back on with Jamie McKnight. Jamie battling away, involved in a major pinball incident on lap 1. Of course, Big Simon Farrington now sponsored by Haggis Pinballs. We were calling him the Pinball Wizard, but Jamie might have that nickname on Thursday.
Well, there's a few in this grid that certainly could qualify for that sponsorship, I think. There was quite a few people in turn 1 there that were getting bounced around all over the place.
Not wrong. And we might just have another battle jump on with Robbie Bradbury. Up 15 spots at the moment. And big dive in the background there. Bradbury gets wide. That's not the fastest line, but there's this line into the pits. Jump up. Warboys just got the job done on Whiting here, I think. Still too wide. As we come into Coates. And it's job done. And Michael Whiting now tucking up behind. You can see it's a very short, sharp, pokey little circuit. Need to get every corner right.
Be interesting to see if Blake can reel in Alan Dawson now.
Definitely putting the pedal down. It's pulled away from Whiting. And what we might do is we might make the most of having the cam, and we might do a lap with Blake Warboys. And that is a lap with Winton. We might jump on Jared Bailey. Jared under a bit of pressure again. As Simon Chadwick goes past. Simon now up 33 spots. It's a very tight, busy little track, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, you're not wrong. And just watching Blake's camera there, the live cam, you can see how much concentration he was putting into that. Yeah, you don't get a break around here. It's 100% focus, 100% time.
Definitely is that. And like I said before, we did a T50K race here not long ago, and I was absolutely buggered after it. Because of that fact, you just don't get a break, and things like checking fuel strategies and things like that, you just don't get the time to manipulate your black box to set your fuel levels and all those sorts of things. It becomes quite a difficult track to race at.
Yeah, you'd really need everything pre-planned here. It's you know, you don't, like you say, you don't have time to be scrolling through anything. You either have to have it pre-planned, or you need a spotter for yourself that can do everything for you.
Absolutely. Damien Johnson's laughing at me because I said he had more hits than the Beatles. It did look like that, Damien. It looked like you're in the wars, mate. If you want to jump in and have a chat, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'm sure he would like to have the copyright to some of them hits and sell them like the Beatles did.
Absolutely. And of course, a big shout out to Race Control. We've got the man himself, Mr. Seb, in the house. How are you, Seb?
Yeah, it could be better. We've had a few technical issues tonight, unfortunately. So just wanted to jump in and make a little bit of an announcement. We've deemed race 1 a non-point scoring race. The grid was not assigned correctly. We've had a couple of issues with the iRacing servers. So we will continue on and have race 2, which will be a 40 lap with 1 compulsory pit stop. That will be the only point scoring race for tonight, but race 1 has just turned into an extended practice session for the guys. So new server will be going up in about 6-7 minutes time, and then the new race will kick off at 9 PM New South Wales time. So we will still have our main feature tonight. We just had a little bit of a mix up with our Heat 1 race, unfortunately.
That's all right, Seb. The boys are all new at this. A little bit of help and teaching from Ben Anthony in the background there. But sometimes iRacing just makes it a little bit difficult at times, so we all understand that one.
Yeah, so apologies to all the viewers and the drivers out there. It's something that was a bit out of our control, unfortunately, but lesson learnt, and we'll make sure we do better next time. But I better get back down there and get ready for race 2, so have a good call.
Absolutely, Seb. Thanks very much, mate, and good luck in race 2. Probably lucky this isn't my race because these boys would have been very busy from that start.
Yeah, it was a bit wild, but yeah, thank you guys. Have a good call.
No worries. Thanks, Seb.
Cheers, Seb.
Oh, actually, just looking, there's a few skid pads going on if you want to go get some action of that. There's,
I'm just making some. Doing my judging in the skid pan at the moment.
yeah, so go get some shots of that. The skid pans look very lit up at the moment. Alright, see you guys for race 2.
Dearie me. See who we got over there at the moment.
Dylan O'Shea's in the skid pan. We've got one of the Riot boys.
Oh, boys will be boys. 2 of the right boys. This is one of the best things, particularly with the V8s and being Winton. This is one of the best things, and they have done this in real life field in the footy oval with tarmac, and they do use it as a skid pan, but it's always a bit of fun on the old V8s to get out there and do a few circles and see how long the tyres and the engine can last.
I know in the vets race here, quite a few of the practice nights, I did spot another good friend who's been a big help this week. Greg Favell was often in the skid pan dumping fuel and burning tyres. He had a good old time in there in his rig with his VR on. He'd be in there doing figure 8s most nights.
It is good fun. I can't. I definitely left enough fuel in the tank to make sure I could get in there and do a few.
I also noticed about 5-10 minutes ago that Christian Smart didn't even bother to go to the skid pan. He was just doing donuts in pit lane. So you know nothing's on the line when Christian's
Doing donuts, yeah.
in pit lane, because he takes his racing very seriously. He's a great racer, but he always likes to obey the rules as well.
Absolutely. And Andrew Dyson's worked his way up to P2. Great try from Andrew there. So race 2, of course, will now be in a new server. It'll be a 40-minute race, 1 compulsory pit stop. We've now seen the carnage that turn 1 can cause.
40 minutes or 40 laps?
It's 40 laps, sorry. And all these boys starting to get a bit organised here. James Scott still doing some laps. Let's have a bit of fun. Let's see if I can find him. Blake Warboys, how are you, mate?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. Just trying to
Here to
find.
break your concentration.
Yeah,
Yeah. I thought you would be.
yeah. So you're looking a bit lonely out there. That's why we thought we'd come have a chat to you.
Oh, fair enough.
How's the bloke going beside you?
There was a lot of flailing of arms for a while.
Yep.
But
Now
I think he was going all right.
we're going to throw you on the spot here. I want you to talk us around a lap. Go.
Okay. All right. So up to 6th gear, down the straight, braking out. There's a cut through here, down to 3rd, using a little bit of the first curb, tuck it in nicely on the 2nd. Don't use all that curb because you will get airborne. Braking at the flag point, down to 2nd, nice and on the apex. use all the exit into third, use all the entry curb and all the exit curb. That nice extension, it's nice and fast through there. Staying in fourth, use a bit of the entry curb. Staying about mid-track, miss that first curb. Over the second, down into second for the first of these 3 tight hairpins. Staying in second all the way through. Keeping it tight to the curbs helps pull the car around. Careful on the exit here with the camber, you will spin it if you're not careful. Up to the next corner, braking just before the 50, down to second again. Up into fifth, but for the penultimate corner, braking about the 75. Down to second, use all the exit, staying in second, hit the apex, use all the exit curb, and there is a lap.
Where was that driver coaching when I needed it?
No, how are you, mate?
Oh, it was quite fun to watch Blake there.
I stuffed myself up.
Does a better job than you with the old commentator.
Oh, there's a reason. Oh, whoa, that's big. I thought you were going to say better than me. I was going to say there's a reason why he's in split one, but them fighting words there, Johnny.
That was a great lap from Blake, and Blake, I think you'll be one to testify that you absolutely get no rest around this track. It's just 100% concentration 100% of the time.
Exactly right. Even if you want to have a quick change of brake bias in between corners, you don't have a lot of time to get your hand away from the wheel to your brake bias adjustment, but it's great fun.
It is. It's a battle of a circuit. And I'm assuming you had the same issues in split 2 with the server being incorrect, Nath?
Yeah, we had a good old reverse grid start here, so I was really excited being on the front row. I was like, whoa, look at me go. Just because there's 50 other blokes ahead of me in the next split. We'll ignore that fact, but look at that. And then I started from the back row. But it was... I
didn't realise it was the last lap.
it was good fun though, like it was quite enjoyable. Everyone sort of still raced and pressed on anyway and sort of raced as if nothing was really happening, so there's a lot of learning I took out of that, a lot of just trying to pick your moments around this tight track here at Winton. Like, it's, even though you might be quicker than the blokes ahead of you, you got to really choose where you want to pass and make sure that you get it done just right, because it goes very wrong if you don't get it right.
Absolutely. Definitely goes very wrong. And
So, but no, it was good fun though. I think everyone seemed to enjoy it and everyone's still pressed on as per normal, so it seemed alright.
it looks like Andrew Dyson's ran out of fuel. No, he's just gone to the skid pan instead.
Well, I believe the new server has been started, so we should all hop on over there and look forward to seeing a 40-lap race for real come next time round.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed iRacing is going to play nicely this time.
Absolutely.
And, we can have a good race.
Oh, well, these boys take the checkered flag here. And it's a checkered flag. So what we might do, Mark, we might go to a quick advert, and then I'll jump on and talk through the track again, and we'll go from there. So,
And I will love and leave all of you.
no worries. And
See you, chaps.
see ya.
See you on the other side.
Hopefully. And that's Blake going back down the bottom. Righto, so let's see if this works. Well, this works. I'll try and get the other server up and running.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first. There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We won't argue.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we just load into the second server again, I thought I'd just quickly run through the track map. We've already had a pretty good look at the circuit already, but just a reminder of turn 1 and 2 on lap 1 after the start is always going to be very critical. We then come into turn 3 where we sweep down into Coates. And once we sweep down into Coates, we then sweep through the big turn 5 as we go round the old cricket oval, which is now the skid pan, past rollover corner through Penrite, through the tight twisty section through 7, past the gum tree at 8, up in the truck assist corner at 9, down the old back straightaway into turn 10. Very difficult to overtake there. Most guys will have a crack at it. Then the long straightaway up to Hyundai corner, and then the quick 2 turns back into turn 12 and back onto the pit lane. Straight. She's a tight twisty circuit, Mark, and it's going to be interesting to see how these boys go. Now they'll be playing for sheep stations.
Yeah, well, they've had their fun, so they need to knuckle down now and get to some real racing, and it's going to be interesting to see if they learn anything from turn 1 from the previous race start, because it is a bottleneck and you just got to be patient, and that doesn't mean one driver, it means all 50 drivers have to be patient and just try and thread the needle.
And of course, as trading paints are still loading in, the second race a little bit later, look who has joined us, Jackson Susan Harlow.
He must have known what was going on and thought he wouldn't waste his time and just turn up for the feature.
That's the way to do it. So just wait for trading paints to load in a few of these cars as we're in a little bit early. These boys have a 15-minute practice session, which we're already 10 minutes down the way in. We've got and definitely still up and running. And it looks like everyone's with us, so that's good to see. I'm not sure what's going on with the trading paints there, but we'll come back and see what's going on with Jackson. But a few of the other boys are in. Jamie Dyke. I always love the gold fish on the back of his car. Of course, for the Taipan boys that are watching, I said gold fish, not Anthony Visner. They'll get that joke. Just trying to see if we've got any other names that missed the first race. Hayden Norris is with us. Old Riot car, very smart looking machine. And I've been told from race control the grid should be the same as what the initial grid should have been for race 1. So we might just take our time and have a bit of a look at that once I get it back up. So we might just quickly go through that grid again. just go through the qualifying performances of the drivers. So, of course, we've got Dylan Rudd on pole with that cracking 1:18.009, as we saw, as a well ahead of Jackson Susan Harlow's official track record. And in second place, we've got Jackson. Third place is Adam Briggs, who drove very well in that practice race. That's what we're going to call it now. And James Scott is alongside him on row 2. And then we have Jordan Ross back in 5th, 6th Damien Johnston, Warboys in 7th, 8th is Hobbs, 9th is Dyson, Craig Schultz is 10th, Harrison Dengate in 11th, Jamie Dyke 12th, Cameron Jones in 13, 14 will be Dylan O'Shea. There's a bit of a skip there. I don't know who's actually, it's got 14 and 14, so I'm not sure what's happened. It should be 15. There we go. Modern marvels of technology here, people. There we go. Kenny Ladder should be in that spot. So Kenny Ladder is in 15th. 16th is Blake Delaney. 17th is David Kirby. 18th, Hayden Veld. Great performance from Hayden, from Bud. Bradley Vaughan in car 100, sitting in 19th from Pursuit Sim Racing. Zach Sear from Pursuit Sim Racing sitting in 20th. 21st is Sebastian Vardnell from Abrasac Sim Racing. Christian Smart from Synergy is sitting in 22nd. Ben Morris from 9.5 is 23rd. 24th is Michael Angus from Fishy. Alan Dawson from Riot Sim Racing, who did a sensational job for quite a few laps there out the front of the boys in the practice race. Simon Vella in 26th from Century Motorsports. 27th is Bradley Baldwin from High Octane. Michael Whiting from Fishy in 28. Chris Ireland from Send It Sim Sports in 29th. Matty Scholes from Riot in 30th. 31st is Ash Barella from WK&P. Mag and Turbos Motorsports in 32nd has Bruce Tannick. James Chastaneath from BAR in 33rd. 34th is Jamie Davis from Autoserve Racing. Then Dave Nash from Riot. 9.5's Simon Chadwick. Hayden Norris from Riot. 9.5 Sam Noble. The People's Champion, Jamie McKnight, all the way back in 39th. Jared Bailey beside him from Rapid Team Rensport. Warren Davis from BAR. Liam Jensen from ICT Marketing Race on Oz, back in 42nd. 43rd is Matty Whitaker from Calamari Racing. Stephen Lawrence from Riot in 44. 45 is Ash Davies from 9.5. Synergy Sim Sports, Matthew Brunt is in 46th. Timmy Nicol in 47th from SimSport Image, Peckley Performance Racing. And 48th is Robbie Bradbury from Century Motorsports. Nicholas Loveridge in 49th from Backmarker Racing, and Tyson Hemnar from Autoserve Racing rounds out our very big field of 50 cars that are going to try and make their way through turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's certainly a big field, and lucky they had a 15-minute warm-up here, because you almost needed that long to get through the field there. So it'll probably feel like it's going to take 15 minutes for Tyson Hammer there, back in 50th, to get through turn 1.
Yeah, definitely a battle and a half for him. And we keep working. I'm not sure what's happened to Paul Burns, but we're about 4 minutes away from getting racing here. And Dylan Rudd has been our fastest man in practice. Jackson Susan Harlow second, so good to see our pole man still setting some good times.
That practice time's not looking too different to the grid at the moment.
Well, it's not too far off it.
As we said before, with the grid being wrong last time, there was no points for race 1, and the boys were able to go out and have a bit of fun and not take it too serious. But now they've got to switch their minds over to hard cut cross racing of V8 supercars around Winton, and they'll need every bit of concentration around here.
Absolutely. It is going to be paramount. Like 40 laps, compulsory pit stop. You know, pit strategy is going to be everything, particularly for the amount of traffic we've got. So, you know, do you dive in early to get out of traffic? You know, staying out of the carnage of the start. There's going to be a lot of factors to this race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of the problem with going in early is that you're going to actually go in and the train may not even get past you. Like, you may end up still being in traffic. So I'm sure these boys have crunched the numbers, and I'm sure they'll do their utmost to make the right decision, because, you know, sometimes you got to make decisions on the fly. If there's a safety car or something, you might want to readjust what you're doing. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Of course, coming back to what we were saying before, during the practice race, you know, it's a circuit where you do not have much time to do anything in terms of making adjustments and thinking about things. It's 100% commitment all the time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how some of these guys do go in terms of making those split decisions by themselves. A few of the boys might have spotters, which will help them, but if you haven't got a spotter, it could be a tough race.
Yeah, absolutely. The only time you probably will get it is while you're trundling down pit lane, where you can kind of scroll through different screens and change things. But, you know, like, if you're like me, you end up just fumbling around and doing everything wrong anyway. So I like to try and pre-plan and keep it simple, but other people seem to be able to do things on the fly. It's just not one thing I can do.
Oh, I know. And I know in Vets, Ben Anthony hasn't made it easy for us this season. Changing the way we have to develop our strategies, race to race now.
Yeah, definitely been a different thing for us to adjust to, and it's actually been a good change, I believe. It's taken a bit of the routine out where everybody's pitting at the same time. So, yeah, I think it's been a good change for Vets, and looking forward to these boys turn on for us here tonight.
Well, we're about 30 seconds away from finding out, Mark. And turn 1 and 2, I think, will be key.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody wants to end up in the skid pan for this race. So.
Absolutely. Pretty certain of that one. So hopefully our racing gods have been good to us and we can make this one work. As the clock ticks over to the end of the warm-up session.
Of course, there's only 30 pit stalls here, so there's quite a few cars that'll be double stacked or sitting inside each other when they pit, if they pit at the same time, which is really, really difficult to judge when you want to make your pit bay.
And looking at that, that looks correct. We've got Rudd, Jackson, Susan, Harlow, Briggs, Scott, Ross, Johnstone, Wallboys, Hobbs, Dyson, followed by that. After that one, we've also got Jamie Dyke and Harrison Dengate on row 6 there. Not sure how much time I'm being given, but we'll keep an eye on that. We'll move to the next one. We've got Jones, O'Shea, Ladder, Delaney, Kirby, Veld, Bourne, Skier, Vardnell, Smart, Morris, Angus. And then we've got Dawson, Vella, Baldwin, Whiting, Ireland, Scholes, Ashbarella, Bruce Tannick, James Chastanoof, Jamie Davis, David Nash, Simon Chadwick back in 36th. And 37th is Hayden Norris, Sam Noble, Jamie McKnight in 39, Jared Bailey in 40, Warren Davis, Liam Jensen, Matty Whitaker, Stephen Lawrence, Tim Nichols, Ash Davis, Robbie Bradbury, Nicholas Loveridge, and Tyson Hamner with Richie Barella in the safety car. Now we might just quickly have a bit of fun here. Well, I've got 2 seconds, jump on the nose. So this is how far back we are starting on Tyson Hamner. So we just quickly jump forward a little bit. You can see that poor old Tyson is right back around the corner. So he's a long way from the start.
He's a lap down already.
Just about. Poor old Dylan Rudd, he's got the eyes quickly fixed and set on getting into that turn one first. Of course, these boys would be about to start gridding. As we might just try and pick a nice camera. Bit of light flashing going on. But it's 2 minutes, so I think we might have another minute to go here. So a couple of boys still mid-pack there, still got a grid. But we can see Tyson all the way back around the corner. Fair way back there. And just going to be a great race. I'm looking forward to this. See what these guys can get up to. As everyone looks like they're on the grid now. And everything looks set for us to get going with 20 seconds to go on the countdown.
Looking down through that grid, it's competitive right the way down through this field. So there's going to be a lot of frustrated drivers here tonight, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All trying to get their way through that traffic. Might go to the battle box. We might have bring track map today. Yeah. And the cars are gridding. Got 1 red, 2 red, 3 red, 4 red, 5 red. Lights are out and we're away. A little bit of wheel spin there from front too. Just look at that. That has just allowed Damien Johnson and James Scott just to go straight through them. Both of them up front bogged it down a bit. And we look like we're 1 off, 2 off, 3 off. We've got some big hits down the back there. We'll come back to them a bit later. And another one here. Oh, it was Dylan Rudd. That's our pole sitter in trouble, going down backwards. James Scott's got off the line, as we said, jumped those front 2 rows. Damien Johnston went with him. Jackson Susan Harlow's managed to recover himself back into 3rd. And Blake Warboys with a good start, up 3 spots into 4th. Hobson up 3 spots into 5th. Dengate up 4 spots into 7th. It's a great start from Harry. And we'll keep looking. There's a few boys on the chat there, so just waiting to see. We may have a safety car.
Yeah, we do have a safety car on track, and yeah, what a dream jump from James Scott with Jackson Susan Harlow and Dylan Rudd on pole, just both spinning up.
We might just quickly jump back and just replay that. We might just jump in the chopper and have a look from the green flag on the Supercheap Auto replay. Jump on James Scott. So you can see the front 2 bogged down. James Scott, Johnston got around nicely. Up the inside there, looks like it's Jordan Ross. They get nicely through. Jordan Ross continues on. We'll drop down the back a bit to see what happened a bit further back.
I think Jordan and Dylan Rudd came together.
Yep, that's where Jordan's gone. Just allowed Warboys through. And we might just jump back to the green flag again. We might go a bit further back just to see what happened to Jamie McKnight. A little bit of a jump start from the guy behind him there. Someone off to the left there stalled, one of the 9.5 guys. McKnight looking very crafty here, working his way to the right side. Big decision to dive it up the inside. Few spots on the grass. No, Jamie. Jamie in a bit of trouble there. Hitting one of the BAR guys and automatically pulling over and waiting to address, which is good to see. Not sure who he's addressing with, but anyway, that's what's happened to Jamie. And we might just go a little bit further back and jump down onto a different view here. Over the nose, Liam Jensen. So definitely big moves going everywhere inside here. And, oh, Chastity, I think that was. Definitely not a great start. And safety car we're under, so we might just quickly jump out of the replay. Make sure we're not going to leave the safety car this time. As Richie Barella leads the boys around in the Porsche 911. So some big movers, some big losers. Jared Bailey's up 10 spots into 30th. Zach Ski is up 5 spots into 15th. Cameron Jones is up 4 spots into 9th. Den Gates up 4 spots into 7th. And John Stone's up 4 spots into 2nd. As Richie comes in, we're about to go racing here. James Scott leads him around the corner, and we're green flag racing. Lap 3 of 40 starts. Much cleaner start under the safety car this time by the looks.
Yeah, definitely much cleaner, and we've got a Synergy Sim Racing train at the front, followed by Blake Warboys in 4th place, and like I said before, James Scott, absolute dream run for him on lap 1.
No, it was a cracking start. Definitely went the right way. And both of the boys in the front bogged down. But it's the Synergy boys. Of course, as we know, there's no team orders amongst these guys. So expect Jackson Susan Harlow to keep the pressure on Damien Johnstone. Warboys will be trying to hang on. He'll be under all sorts of pressure, of course, from Brenton Hobson and Jordan Ross. Probably looking for a bit of help from Dengate, maybe to put a bit of pressure on Ross for him. But definitely a fairly good start here from the boys. We've got a bit of an incident out the back with Simon Chadwick. Not sure what's going on there. We've got a car stopped on track, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with race control on that one. As we go back to the front.
Got another safety car on track, I believe.
Yeah, it sounds like the boys have backed off. Not sure, I haven't seen Richard come out though. So we'll just stay on track here with James at the moment. They definitely sound like they've backed off a bit though, don't they?
Yeah, they're not going full chat here, so definitely thought I heard a call from race control over the comms. That
yeah, Richie's in turn 1, so definitely picking them up. There's Richie Brillo. It's been getting through there. That was Chasty. Hopefully he's got his lap back after that lap 1 incident. So let's just see if we can find out what happened to Simon Chadwick. See, Scott went off track, so I'm not sure. We'll quickly go to the replay. But it looks like he's blown an engine there, I would say. Stephen Lawrence passed him before that, and Timmy Nichols passed him before that. So, yeah, blown engine there. He saw the puff of smoke from behind the tree. So that's what's happened to Simon Chadwick. As we'll jump back to live pictures. A big shout out to Supercheap Auto for our replays.
Yeah, that's a real shame for Simon. Blown engine, so pretty much race done. I'm not sure if he's got a fast repair off his sleeve, but whatever the case, it's not going to be a good night for him from the back now.
Yeah, still a lap down.
Now, James Scott out in front, and he showed a clean set of heels last week, and he's going to be very difficult to beat again tonight. I think once James gets his nose in front, he very rarely relinquishes the lead.
Absolutely, he's a masterclass driver. Enjoys that open space. Let's have a quick look. Stephen Lawrence back in 37th, up 7 spots. It's another one of the right Sim Sports boys. Sim Racing boys, sorry. And some of our big movers. Davis, Warren Davis, 007 from Banter Alliance. He's up 11 spots into 30th. As it looks like Richie might have pulled away here.
Yeah, Rich, the safety car's pulling off track, so under control of James Scott at the moment, so we're about to go green.
And on the apex, and we're away. Cracking start there from James Scott. Looks like he's pulled out a couple of car lengths from Damien Johnston on that restart. And Damien Johnston under pressure now from Jackson Susan Harlow.
Yeah, I definitely think Jackson will be hoping to make a move past Damien so he can take it to James Scott. Looks like he's
There it
got
is.
the move done.
Just, yep. Ball boys having a bit of a look there. We've got another incident. I'm not sure who it was this time. I think it's Ash Barella this time, off in the weeds, and Jamie Davis as well. Looks like they've got the car going again, so no safety car, luckily. And we'll just work our way back a little bit. Jordan Ross in the middle of this battle here as well, all over the back of War Boys. And Harrison Dengate's managed to move himself up into 6th. I'm not sure what's happened to Brenton Hobson. He's dropped out of that battle. Just trying to find Brenton. He's back in 27th, so I'm not sure what happened to Hobbo.
Yeah, I think I saw Brenton pull into the pit lane under the last safety car. So not sure if that was a tactical move or whether he needed repairs.
Fair enough. So that's created a little bit of a gap there behind. A little bit of a gap behind with Craig Schultz now from 9.5 chasing down Dengate. And behind them we've got Cameron Jones from Century Motorsport in the middle of a battle there with Andrew Dyson from simrig.com DPR. So a bit of a train forming at the back here. And then Kenny Ladder and Dylan O'Shea and Jamie Dyke latching onto the back of this group as well. There's definitely a good train of cars sort of going back from about 8th all the way back to 18th.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room, not a lot of space in between cars here at the moment, and a lot of drivers doing great work, and they will be feeling like that they want to get a move done, but it's kind of just try not to make a mistake yourself and hang on around here.
Absolutely. Then you did mention pit stops, so let's just have a quick look who's made one. So no one in our top 20's made a stop yet, of course, and that's probably one thing thought I'd just quickly double check. Of course, we'll have one compulsory stop in this race. With Hobbo going in early, it'd be interesting to see whether it's a strategy choice or whether it's a necessity for damage, as a big dive up the inside there from Cameron Jones, I think. Doesn't get the job done, off under the weeds. And we might just jump back down the Blake War Boys, who's still under pressure from Jordan Ross and Damien Johnstone behind. Sorry, Jordan Ross behind, Damien Johnstone in front. Kenny Ladder's been off the track as well, so I'm not sure what happened to Kenny. And you see now that the lead 30 cars are definitely snaking in close combat, all the way from turn 5 to turn 2. As we reach lap 9 here, nearly a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, Jackson, Susan Harlow and James Scott almost setting identical lap times at the moment, and the only person I can see that's pitted is Brenton Hobson. So it'd be interesting to see where that might put him if we get another safety car or two and he creeps up the grid while other people pit.
Jamie Davis has just been off track, come back on, but he's going again. But Jamie now all the way back in 48th, down 14 spots. course, our hard charger at the moment, big movers, Matty Whitaker, up 12 spots. Timmy Nichols up 13 spots in the 33rd. Bradley Vaughan's up 6 spots in the 13th. Dylan O'Shea up 5 in the 9th. Harrison Dengate up 5 spots into 6th. Great drive from H. As we've got a car stopped on pit lane. Who's this? David Nash. So I'm not sure what's going on with David. Looks like he's got it going again. No. And he's up on the grass there, so looks like he'll be right. Four boys still under pressure from Jordan Ross from behind. Of course, War Boys in a Synergy Sim Racing sandwich here. And might just jump down a little bit. Dylan Rudd, our pole sitter, was working his way back after the first couple of laps. And Dylan now has worked his way back up to 19th. And all over the back of Dave Kirby here. Getting the job done. Nice overtake. We've got another car stopped on track. Timmy Nichols is off into the weeds. Looks like he's well off the driving line though, so hopefully we won't get a safety car for that one. And Hayden Veld getting past Adam Briggs there. And Sebastian Bartnell now all over the back of Adam Briggs. So Adam Briggs, of course, a few little things in the car there, missing the bonnet, so probably lacking a bit of straight line speed. And we've had an incident with Sam Noble. He's back going again as well. And Bradley Vaughan here and Jamie Dyke behind. Jamie Dyke under a bit of pressure here from Blake Delaney. There's the two fishy boys, both teammates. Another couple of incidents going up the back of Michael Whiting, I think. Looks like he's got it going now.
James Scott and Jackson Susan Harlow starting to edge their way back up towards some slower traffic, so going to be interesting how they navigate through here and whether either of them gain an advantage on each other.
Jump up, have a quick look. So
Jackson looking like he's closed the gap a bit.
Definitely does. Definitely he's got it under a second now. It's only 0.7 of a second. And of course we've got Tim Noble up the road. Sorry, Timmy Nicol up the road. Then Sam Noble after that. And them two are in a bit of a battle themselves. And Zach Skier's had an off. Just waiting to see if he gets going again. It looks like he has. And Timmy Nichols definitely in the wars there.
I heard Timmy on the race radio. He wasn't very happy about being sent off into the wall, so I'm sure race control will investigate that, hand out a penalty if it's needed.
I'd imagine the boys would be very busy with this one. With a light flash, James letting him know he's there. And Timmy nicely gets out of the way. And James now starts to line up his next car.
Really not nice for Tim. He's got the whole train coming down on him now, so
Yeah.
it really kind of has ruined his race, and he'll be super frustrated.
It's never easy, particularly on a track like this one where it's very difficult to get out of everyone's way. Just trying to see who he's got going. Yeah, Michael Whiting's had another off as well, but I think we're just getting offs as they go into the pits, so just bear with me on those. And we've got a drive-through penalty for Dylan O'Shea with car contact on car 269. Just trying to work out who that was with. And imagine with 50 cars on track, it's very hard to work out who it was.
Yeah, that was with Kenneth
Kenny
Ladder.
Yeah. So James Scott looking very composed here, even though Jackson's right up behind him. Might just jump gearbox view. Jackson looking very racy. Oh, a little bit of a look up the inside here. Switches it back to the other side. James would definitely know he's there.
Yeah, without a doubt. Jackson, I'm sure, is getting on the blower to Jordan Ross, saying, tell you to pull over, I'm quicker.
Absolutely.
Like you said earlier, there's no team orders with Synergy. They're all free to race as hard as they want. So I'm sure, as we said earlier, James is not going to make this easy for Jackson at all. But Jackson will keep pressuring him and just see if he can force an error.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, they're not amongst the top V8 drivers in racing for no reason. The lap times these boys are turning out is quite impressive. Might just have a quick look at what their fastest laps have been. Once I find where I click, bear with me. So their best lap times so far, James Scott's done a 1:18.7. Another drive-through penalty for Stefan Lawrence for contact on car 23. And Susan Harlow, so 0:02 is the difference in their lap times, in their best lap times. So that's pretty impressive in itself. How evenly matched these two boys are.
Yeah, there's only three boys in the whole field that got into the 18s. It's these two and Damien Johnson, who I think is still sitting in third place. Yeah, pretty impressive from the Synergy Sim Racing boys.
Yeah, Damien still back in third, still leading War Boys, and then Jordan Ross. Den Gates hung on to sixth. Andrew Dyson from Simrig DPR in seventh. Eighth is Craig Schultz. And ninth is Cameron Jones and Bradley Vaughan. As we come through lap 16.
Christopher Island in the pits, so he's blinked and made a pit stop.
And we'll just have a quick look here. So the only one in the top 10 at the moment to have made a stop is Brenton Hobson, who stopped on lap 4. I'll be interested to see whether he can get that car home from that far out. As James Scott still under all sorts of pressure here from Jackson Susan Harlow. And of course, middle lap traffic in the middle there with Sam Noble. Definitely looking quite racy, these boys. Now. And let's have a quick look down the back. Jamie McKnight is up 15 spots in the 24. It's good going from Jamie. And the other man who's doing really well back in the pack here is Warren Davis from BAR. He's up 21 spots.
Yeah, that's a great effort from Warren. He's doing a real good job tonight with the VAR team.
Absolutely. Very happy with that. And Nicholas Loveridge is up 21 spots, but a few of the boys now I think are starting to roll the dice on their pit stops as well. That's always good to have the backmarker racing boys join us on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Another welcome addition to this monster grid that we have in East Coast V8s. There's a lot of new faces, but all the boys out here turning it on for us.
And War Boys has blinked, he's gone in. Dengate still lapping. And we've got another drive-through penalty from Michael Whiting with contact on car 55. The penalties now starting to come thick and fast from race control. He's getting a little bit of free time out to do it. That was an incident with Tyson Hemner. Jamie McKnight's into the pits. So James Scott's still our race leader. They haven't pitted yet. Susan Harlow this time having up the inside. Can't get the job done side by side, coming down. And Scott gets the corner. As we head into
Just
turn
proven
11.
again, once again, as we said earlier, without getting that drive out of them corners, it's difficult to get past, but he's made the move now by the look of it.
Yeah, it's got the job done. So I'm interested to see now whether James Scott can hang on to him. Of course, Damien Johnstone is 2 seconds back from this group. And as you said, a few of these boys have pitted already, so I might just go with the pit strategy. Hobson's the main man at the moment. In 16th, he pitted on lap 4. Everyone else is still 2 pit. And just going to ignore the crushes on SDK here now because everyone's going into the pits and it's doing what it did to us last time. You were here doing the Vets Drivers Lounge. So, lap 19 of 40. Our race leader is Jackson Susan Harlow. Got the jump off the start. Him and James Scott both jumped the front row after the front row bogged it down. We then had a couple of incidences. We've had 2 safety cars very early on in the first 10 laps. The second safety car in lap 4, Brenton Hobson, duck into the pits. Whether it was an early strategy stop or a stop for reasons of car repair, we don't know. But it may be the move of the night as we wait for these other boys to come in and pit. As our race leaders, Susan Harlow and Scott, continue on with Johnston and Ross. And let's go back to 8th. Cameron Jones putting a lot of pressure now on Craig Schultz in front of him. So
Yeah, quick shout out to Craig Schultz. He's doing a great job in P7 from the 9 Pipe Sim Sport team. He's really stepped it up and he's doing an awesome job in the top 10 there.
Definitely showing some good pace. He's been hanging on to the back of War Boys quite well.
James Scott off the track at high speed.
Let's have a look at that. Let's try and have a look at that. Did I get on that? No, I didn't. Bear with me. Go
Very
to the
unusual
Supercheap
mistake.
replay. In the sweeper around the cricket pitch off onto the grass. Very unusual. Very long way off track too. Manages to come back on. And that's cost him 3 spots. Put him back to 4th. As we jump back to live pitches. And James Scott now right up behind Jordan Ross. And Jared Bailey now with a drive-through with contact on car 205, which is Michael Angus. That was on lap 13. They're very unlike James Scott, that one.
Definitely unlike James Scott, probably doing what I do, scroll through black boxes and drive off the track at the same time.
Absolutely. And Chris Island here in a good battle with Hayden Veld. Looks like Bud's just got past him. Still too wide. Really 3 wide. Definitely some good battles going on in front of these guys. There's a few more boys peel off into the pits now.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on these pit stops and watching Brenton Hobson's name just slowly creep up the leaderboard. So, not sure if Hobbo's done a lot of homework, and he's, like you said, made the move of the night by pitting on lap 4. We'll soon see, but he's creeping up the leaderboard one by one.
Well, he's not alone in that top 20. You got Jared Bailey was on lap 4, and so was Simon Vella. It's these two, Craig Schultz here and Jones, having a ding-dong battle. Looks like Jones is going to get the job done though, coming up into turn 11. Definitely not making it easy for him though, which is good to see. And Dengate, I think, peeled off into the pits there. Might have a quick look at Christian Smart, see how he's getting on. Christian's putting a lot of pressure here on Dave Kirby in front of him. There's some good battles starting to form up throughout the pack now. Still got 18 laps to go.
Yeah, there's no lonely racing around Winton. We've always got someone to battle with around here.
And let's check on Warboys. Warboys is back in the 10th after his stop.
And Brenton Hobson's currently sitting in P7 and about 24 seconds off the lead. So I think and Jackson Susan Harlow and James Scott currently in the pits.
Yep. Craig Schultz goes again. And Blake Delaney has gone with him as well. And the man who moves into P3 is one Brenton Hobson. It'll be interesting to see. Keep an eye on where Susan Harlow and Scott comes out. So they've come out. Scott has come out well behind Susan Harlow. Quite interesting.
Yeah, James got down about 5.5 seconds on Susan Harlow. And Brenton Hobson really looking like he's in the box seat at the moment, if he can hold his teammate out, Jackson Susan Harlow.
Scott was stationary for 10.8 seconds and Harlow was stationary for 10.2 seconds. So definitely some time difference there between pit in and pit out. Great little battle here with Blake Warboys, Damien Johnstone and Andrew Dyson. All these boys here, I believe, have made their stop. Hayden Veld with a drive-through with contact on 333. Which was with Zach Scale, lap 12. As we start lap 24, of course, 40 laps. There's James Chastaneef pits. Definitely a good little racy pack we got here. So everyone,
Sorry, John, go on.
I was about to say everyone has stopped in our lead pack except for Schultz. Craig Schultz hasn't stopped yet. I've got him down as a stop, so he stopped that lap. So everyone has stopped. Hobson with tyres that are already 19 laps old, so I'm interested to see how far he can get those to go.
The wily old fox, yeah, Brenton Hobson out in front with a very early pit stop, and currently he's got Jackson Susan Harlow at about 3.5 to 4 seconds behind and bringing that gap down turn after turn.
Of course, Susan Harlow on very fresh tyres. Jackson Susan Harlow hunting down Brenton Hobson. Come around through truck assist corner.
Give you an idea, last lap around Brenton Hobson was a 1 minute 20.218 and Jackson Susan Harlow was a 1:18.548, which is his quickest lap of the race. So big difference in lap speed there.
Absolutely over a second quicker than Warboys behind him. So yeah, definitely tracking speeds there. Gate with his best lap of the race last lap as well, the 1:19.15 in ninth. Lapping 0.4 faster than all the boys in front of him.
Yeah, these V8 supercars on iRacing, they love fresh tyres, like in real life.
Yeah, we've got a great little battle pack forming here at the moment. Between Warboys, Johnstone, Dyson, Scott and Jordan Ross. Starting to latch onto the back of this group. The Warboys definitely got the nose down under a lot of pressure. You can see it's not all smiles on the cam at the moment, what it was before.
No, definitely not. Got serious now.
Definitely don't think I'll go down and knock on the door and see if he wants to call a lap for us.
Would not be ideal timing at the moment.
Nah, I wouldn't be popular. Definitely very racy there. James Scott having a good hard look on Dyson in front of him.
Yeah, I'm sure James will be very frustrated with that mistake he made earlier.
May have another car stopped on track. Let's have a look. No, he's going. By the looks, he's got it going. Robbie Bradbury up at truck assist.
James Scott and Andrew Dyson having a cracking battle at the moment, and James Scott finding out just how difficult it is to pass around at Winton Raceway.
And there you go. On board for that one. And that's James Scott, I think it was, going off there to the side. Might see if I can get a replay on that one. Go to Supercheap Auto replay here. Have a look from the chopper. Very subtle. Not much room given. And James Scott off into the weeds. I think James would be a little bit disappointed with that one. That frees Dyson up now and allows James Scott to start putting the pressure on. Sorry, not James Scott, sorry, Jordan Ross put the pressure on Dyson. And then we've still got Blake Warboys under pressure from Damien Johnson in front as we tick over lap 28 of 40. We might just leave this battle for a minute. Jackson Susan Harlow up in front. Hasn't pulled away as quickly as what I thought he would from Brenton Hobson. That gap's only out to a second now, and another 6 back to Warboys.
Yeah, he didn't take long to get. I'm not sure if Brenton made a mistake or if it was just Jackson's extreme pace at the moment, but yeah, definitely didn't take him long to get up there and get past.
No, it didn't take long at all. And we might just have a quick look a bit further back at Matthew Scholes, Riot. Matthew here having a great little battle with Dave Kirby in front and the great Jamie McKnight behind, hanging on. Half a second each. So a good little battle here.
Yeah, Jamie doing a great job up 21 spots at the moment. It's a super drive. And he's got Warren Davis behind him, who is up 22 spots, which is an epic Warren.
Also got to remember too, Mark, we've got to pick our driver of the round. James Scott now working his way back as it just gets past Cameron Jones.
Yeah, that was a no quarters given there with Andrew Dyson proving what a tough racer he is. He just held his line and yeah, James kind of came across and Andrew wasn't yielding and yeah, ended up with James Scott off on in the weeds.
Which I've got to laugh at because I don't usually like using the suspension cameras too well. Haven't got used to that yet, so the one time I do use it, we see an incident. The old commentator's curse, so sorry for that, James. And what, have a quick look down the back here. Hayden Norris, right, he's having a great little battle. This group is quietly bunched as well as we sort of work our way back up through Hayden Norris, Axia, Loveridge, Chastaneuf, Bruce Tannick. These boys having a bit of a ding-dong battle. Brady Baldwin a little bit further ahead of these guys, under all sorts of pressure from Sebastian. Oh, Sebastian getting a bit loose, but getting the job done, I think.
I think Sebastian Vandel is the driver. He's only a very young driver, but he's got some good pace, Sebastian.
They're definitely doing very well. Plenty of big names around him tonight. Showing plenty of patience with that. Hayden Norris again getting past Nicholas Loveridge. And we might just scroll a little bit further back. Sam Noble sitting in 40th. He's recovered reasonably well. Ash Barella down 12 spots. Was off on the grass there at one stage. He's obviously fighting his way back. And Simon Feller. He's under all sorts of pressure from Blake Delaney behind him. And keep working our way up the grid a bit more. Craig Schultz. He's now got James Scott up behind him. So James starting to pick the boys off again. And that front group again fighting for our spot on the grid. Sorry, our spot on the podium. All boys in third. Damien Johnson still in fourth. Dyson in fifth. Jordan Ross now starting to latch onto the back of the battle. So with 8 to go, I think this is going to be quite an epic battle to get a foot on the podium here. Of course, Brenton Hobson. We quickly just go to good strategy, Cam. Brenton Hobson on tyres now that are 27 laps old, so they'll be starting to feel pretty second-hand, I reckon. So it'll be interesting to see if Hobbo can hang on to that second spot.
I think Hobbo's probably gone through a bad phase with the tyres, but I'm sure they've probably levelled out a little bit now, and his pace is not too bad considering the people who are running behind him. So if he can not make any mistakes, I'm expecting Hobbo to cement second spot on the podium, and all to fight for third place on the podium. So we've got Blake Warby's, Damien Johnson, Andrew Dyson, Jordan Ross, Bradley Vaughan, all vying for that third spot.
Definitely getting very racy back there as Jordan Ross starts to line up Andrew Dyson. It's the old, got to keep your eyes front, you've got to be careful what goes on behind. And traffic's starting to become more and more of an issue as well. But Jackson Susan Harlow is still 4 seconds up the road. Hobson's still 4 seconds up the road from this battle.
Yeah, Jackson Susan Harlow proving what a great driver he is. He's really taken hold of this race, and clearly looking at his lap speed and his position, he's the James Scott of last week.
Not wrong.
It was a shame we didn't have Jackson last week, because it might have been a different story up front. But anyway, he's here this week and he's doing an awesome job. And James Scott sitting in, where are we? 12th place. James, a couple of mistakes, proving what a difficult place it is to keep your concentration up around Winton for 30, 40 laps at a time.
Yeah, definitely no easy lap around here. No brakes. Max concentration.
Bradley Vaughan doing a great job in the top 10, up 12 spots as well. That's no mean feat, trying to get past all these fast guys, from many different teams and many great drivers. It's a good effort to get up 12 spots into the top 10.
Yeah, he's done very well. Some other big performers, of course. Simon Vella in 15th, up 11. Chris Island in 17th, up 12. McKnight and Warren Davis, 21 and 23rd respectively, both up 18 spots. But like you said, to get into the top 10 with the quality, come up 12 spots into the top 10 with the calibre of drivers we've got here today, it's a fair effort. Bradley Vaughan. Just check on War Boys again, still under all sorts of pressure from Damien Johnson. He's got 5 to go.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We won't argue.
And people who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small. And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name. Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super.
Of course, a big thank you to Supercheap Auto for sponsoring the series and all the Kevins out there. Great to have you all watching tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Huge thanks to Supercheap Auto for getting on board and sponsoring this series. It's a great series, and they're a great sponsor, and we're really happy to have them on board.
And might just have a quick look a bit further back. We've got some battles still going on. McKnight putting all sorts of pressure on David Kirby in front of him here. Jamie having a bit of a cracker of a drive, up 18 spots, about to go 19 spots into the top 20.
And let's not forget Blake Warbridge as well, sitting in third place at the moment, been under all sorts of pressure for lap after lap from Damien Johnson, Andrew Dyson and Jordan Ross, and doing an absolutely stellar job.
Yeah, you definitely see under a lot of pressure here. This is the battle we've got for the last step of the podium. So Warboy's in third, Johnson in fourth, Dyson in fifth, Jordan Ross hanging onto the back here in sixth. Dyson now putting all sorts of pressure on Johnson. No, it looks like Johnson might have missed a gear, or Dyson's starting to really ramp up the attack. Here comes Jordan Ross. Pace these boys have been running all day. You can't afford to make a little mistake, and you can't afford to go too defensive without opening a gap, exposing yourself to the next guy behind. So this little battle,
absolutely. I think Blake will be thankful that they're battling so hard behind him.
I was just about to say that. Blake's walked away a second here. That'll break the slipstream. Not that the slipstream does a hell of a lot at Winton. As we start lap 38. Jackson Susan Harlow at the moment. Definitely well clear by himself. 8 seconds ahead of Brenton Hobson. Brenton, of course, pitted on lap 4 under the safety car. Has managed to make these tyres last this long, which is impressive by itself. Dealing with a bit of lap traffic at the moment. Warboys has now pulled out a second clear of Johnson. Johnson under all sorts of pressure from Dyson now. Andrew Dyson definitely having a good look at the back of this Synergy Sim racing car of Damien Johnston. Has a think about the inside, doesn't get it done. Nicely tucked up behind the rear. Trying to get the power down. The tyres now screaming as we start the penultimate lap. A bit of lap traffic getting right off the track there. I'll show who that was. I think that might have been Ash Davies. Andrew Dyson trying to find a gap from every angle here to make a move on Damien Johnson in front of him. It's battling though. All it's done is allowed Wallboys to walk away from this. And got a feeling that we're going to run out of laps as Dyson has a look up the inside here. Can't get close enough to get the job done. Going to look for the inside. Very, very defensive there from Johnston, which is allowed. Oh, a nudge. Jordan Ross into the back of Dyson. That battle is over as we start the white flag lap. Our race leader, Jackson Susan Harlow, got the jump on the start. Managed to work his way up. Did well. And managed to get out some clean air. Battled very hard with James Scott there for a fair while before James made a minor incident and then put himself back in the pack. Jackson missed last week. Missed race one, was lucky. It was null and void because of the gridding issues. But our race leader, Jackson Susan Harlow, the man who holds the official iRacing record for this circuit for the V8s, has driven what I would say an extraordinary race. Lights flashing, he knows he's done a good job. Synergy Sim Racer through turn 11 into turn 12, and we have our round 2 winner into the wall, Jackson Susan Harlow, followed by the man who has dragged his tyres since lap 4, 36 laps out of the tyres, Brenton Hobson in second. Warboys home in third, great drive from Blake. Johnston manages to get home in fourth. Bradley Vaughan in fifth, great from Bradley Vaughan. Harrison Dengate in sixth. And seventh is Dylan Rudd, our pole sitter. Eighth is Adam Briggs. Jamie Dyke in ninth, James Scott in 10, Craig Schultz in 11, Cameron Jones 12, Dyson in 13th. And we've got Jordan Ross in 14, Blake Delaney 15, Chris Island 16, Christian Smart 17, Ben Morris is 18, 19th will be Kenny Ladder. Great drive from Kenneth, he'd be happy with that. Fought his way back well. Dave Kirby home in 20th, Matty Scholes. He got himself home in 21st. Warren Davis up 19 spots to 22nd, 23rd, Jamie McKnight. Hayden Veld, Bailey, Jensen, Dawson, Dylan O'Shea, James Chastanoof in 29th. 30th was Waldwin, Tannick, Vella, Loveridge, Bardell, Norris, Whittaker, Bradbury, Nash, Noble, Skier, Davies, Lawrence, Barella in 43rd, Angus in 44, Davis in 45, Tyson Emner 46 and Timmy Nichols 47, Whiting 48 and Chadwick 49. What a race, Mark.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in that race. It was action-packed from start to finish. Few experienced drivers making some mistakes we don't normally see. Jackson Susan Harlow, absolutely faultless. Even had time to put it into the wall on the last lap before he crossed the line and still win the race. Great strategy from Brenton Hobson. Super drive from Blake Warby. So, yeah, like there was some really good battles tonight.
And I'd probably have to say our driver of the day would have to be Bradley Vaughan.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking. Bradley Vaughan up 14 spots and into the top 5. It's no mean feat in a quality field.
Absolutely. He's got to be very ecstatic with that. I would be. These boys have really put on a good show. It's a pity that first race was a bit null and void, but you know, we've got to be happy with what we've just seen there.
Yeah, it was a great race, and like you say, it would have been interesting to see what how many risk drivers would have taken on a shorter race with no pit stops. But as we've said all night, it proved tonight that you've really got to set up a pass precisely. Otherwise, you've just got to wait and hope that driver in front of you makes a tiny error so you can get a better exit or you can get underneath him under brakes. But yeah, it's very difficult to pass around here, and that was proved tonight with these drivers.
Absolutely. And what we might do is we might grab in our race winner, Jackson Susan Harlow. Jackson, congratulations on winning that one, mate. That looked like it was a real tough battle.
Yeah, no, it was awesome fun. I had a drama on the start. My clutch, I don't know, someone let go, and I just like lost all feel in it. So I dropped the clutch, and just got wheel spin. So that made it a bit harder. It took me a couple of laps to get the tires back, and then safety car come out, which is cool. But yeah, had an awesome battle with a couple of my teammates, so that was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Of course, we missed you last week with a power failure, and then race one being null and void, and you're missing the start. You've definitely fluked it to come and score some points in this one.
Oh, 100%. If the race didn't get delayed, I wouldn't have been able to race. Like, I was out and I only got home 5 minutes before the race service. So that was lucky. Yeah, but like I said, it was cool to have some fun with my teammates. Good job to all the SSR boys. They were all super quick. A bit unfortunate for James. He definitely should have been top three. But yeah, that's racing. I hope everyone enjoyed my celebration at the end. I knew that I had to use the wall to do a 360. So, no, it was good fun. Thankfully, when you have a lead like that, you can have a little bit of fun and just, try and be a show off. So it was good fun, but yeah.
That was good, mate. And anyone you want to, sponsors and stuff you want to give a shout out to?
Just huge shout out to Synergy Sim Racing. Yeah, those boys are legends. I obviously don't get to play the sim as much as I would like because I'm always away real life racing. But yeah, whenever I get on, they always supply me with good setups, and yeah, I just love talking to them while we're racing. Yeah, it's awesome fun. We've now got James in the team, so he's a massive asset. Yeah, he's been making some sick setups. And yeah, hopefully we can keep pushing and start winning some races in different leagues as well, and just keep pushing to the top. But no, all in all, it was a cool race, and yeah, really enjoyed it.
Absolutely, mate. You've done well. And speaking of teammates, we might take the time and drag up our second place man, Brenton Hobson.
Yeah, I got to give a big shout out to him, the fuel save bandit. He always loves it. But yeah, awesome job to him for finishing second as well. He's a big fuel saver.
The wily fox, eh?
A wily fox that was going, I think he would have finished on the steel rims of the car, didn't he? Hello?
Oh, hello. How's it going, guys?
It's the taking tyres on lap 4. I reckon you would have been left on the steel rim of the canvas at the end there.
Yeah, didn't have a lot of tread left there at the end, I don't think. Because I wasn't leaning too hard on it, saving fuel the whole way. I didn't hurt him too much, but yeah, it was. I didn't expect that strategy to work that well. If I'm honest, I was sort of running around the top 5 or something when I made the call, but I qualified 8th, and really 8th was probably better than I deserved. I really didn't have very good speed, so I knew what was going to happen all around my teammates. I didn't want to be in everyone's way, and my pace wasn't very good. So rather than get caught up in it, I decided we'll risk it all on the old strategy and hope that I can still get a top 10 out of it. And it worked far better than I thought it would. So I'm pretty happy with that, actually.
Yeah, it should be, mate. I think it was pretty impressive. It was a smart idea, and it's paid off. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a risky call, especially around here. You can't pass, and when you're fuel saving, especially, you can't pass. And I was probably lucky that I trundled the lane, but still came out in about 25th instead of all the way back in 40th.
Yeah.
Because the cars were sort of spread out enough after just those couple of laps that I didn't have to go all the way to the very back, and the pace in the midfield there was just good enough that I could just sit in the line and save fuel and not lose too much lap speed every lap. I was getting a little bit held up for a little while, but I think I lost about 20 seconds to the guys at the front before it all started to spread out. And it wasn't ideal, but it was good enough, that made it work. Yeah. So it was an interesting one.
Of course, the epic battle between War Boys, Johnston, Ross and Scott, Ross and Dyson, that's it. Yeah, I think they helped you out there at the end as well. They started consuming a fair bit of time out of themselves.
Yeah, that always helps. I had Discord muted for most of the night. I had my tasks at hand and didn't need any distractions, so I kind of kept myself pretty isolated tonight. So I didn't really know what was going on back there, but it looked like a pretty good battle, and it would have been good to watch, I'm sure.
It was. It was. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, Hobbo?
Oh, the guys in the team. Jackson here tonight. That's awesome, and congrats to him for the win. Mega effort, and by all the guys, we're filling up a lot of the spots in the top 10, and we're all here having a lot of fun and enjoying it, and that's the main thing too. So shout out to all the guys and all the sponsors on the cars and all that stuff, and of course to everyone involved with running the league and with you guys for putting on a broadcast. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Hobbo. And what we might do now is might bring in our third place man. Had him in earlier, giving us a lap. Bear with me, and we'll bring in Blake Warboys. Mr. Warboys, congratulations on being on the podium in P3.
Thank you.
How did you find that one?
That was intense, to say the least. Yeah, did not know really what to expect from tonight. Struggled a little bit with setup leading into tonight, so yeah, didn't really know where I'd be with sort of race pace, but was hoping to be in that top 7 group. But to sort of have, only a few tenths a lap, possibly off Jackson, and James is pretty cool with the sort of setup knowledge I have, and to get third in a field like this is just incredible.
Yeah, you've done well. Of course, Harrison in 6th as well, so setup mustn't have been too bad.
Yeah, no, Harrison drove a great race. He's getting quicker and quicker the more he gets used to his new steering wheel, so you one to watch out for soon. But I think once we got used to how we had to drive the track and the setup that we ended up going with, I think we had a pretty good package. Still, as a small team, we still got a lot to learn, but I think we're starting to mix it with these big guys.
That's good, mate. You did very well. And anyone you want to give a shout out to?
First of all, to the team. We're doing a great job at the moment, so thanks to them. Wodonga Carts and Parts, WK&P Race Engines, LGK Australia, Supercheap Auto for coming on board with the team for this season. Awesome work by them and Joshy to bring them on board. The admin team, they do a good job. Struggled a little bit tonight with the heat formats, but I think now they know what to do for the rest of the series going forward when we do these sprint rounds. So thanks to them for doing all the work they do. And the guys in the race, that was awesome with Damien and everyone there. It was great fun.
Too easy, mate. Too easy. And we might bring in Bradley Vaughan. Bradley was our 5th place driver. Bradley, congratulations, mate, on driver of the day.
Yeah, cheers. It was a good race. Those first couple safety cars helped me get a few positions, but good.
So how did you find it, mate? You sort of got those few positions, but you sort of managed to sort of keep pushing forward, sort of up 14 spots. Any key moves? Any key highlights?
Yeah, it's not a easy track to pass at, that's for sure. So I tried to be a little bit creative. A few moves had a bit of contact, but everything was good, and we got through the corner. So a bit lucky, bit strategic, and yeah, 19th to 5th. I certainly wasn't expecting that.
No, you've done well, mate. So you've got our driver of the day. I'm probably going to get corrected if I'm wrong. I can't say too much, but we've definitely got available for you if you want it, and you have to let us know if you can use it or not before we send it out to you. I think it's a pit pass for Bathurst.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I've been to Bathurst a few times, so yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, no worries. And that's thanks to the boys at Supercheap Auto. So I'll get Josh to get on to you about that one. Yeah, so anyone you want to give a shout out to while we got you here?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Pursuit Sim Racing and V&M Simulations. It's been a good ride with them, but yeah, can't wait for next week. Cheers.
Of course, that leads into my next thing that I'm just quickly trying to find. Next week, of course, we're back to the 250k format at Road America. How do you think you're going to tackle that one?
I haven't done a whole lot of laps around Road America. I've missed the first round at Donington. I couldn't make it. So the 250k race is a long race, that's for sure. So, get some practice in early and see what we can do.
Oh, it'll be good. And of course, we'll start again on Sunday night with qualifying on Sunday and Monday night. Any thoughts about Road America, Mark?
I'm going to be on the road myself in my motorhome, so I'll be watching the stream on YouTube. But Road America is a great track for these cars. It always produces really, really good racing. And yeah, I'll be really looking forward to watching the stream and seeing some epic racing up front. I think it's one of them tracks that just really suits this car on this format. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And it's one of those tracks that flows. It's got ups and downs, got crests. It's quite easy to snap a brake and lose control as well if you're not careful. And I always find that stretch between turn 1 and turn 2 at the start of the race is always an interesting spot too. I've seen some pretty big carnage in some races I've been in that spot. So
yeah, absolutely. But it presents quite a few passing opportunities, that track, and I think that's what makes it such a great track for these cars. So yeah, really looking forward to the boys battling there.
Of course, as you said, you're off for a break, which, considering your health issues over the last few years, it's probably good that you're getting away, mate, and I hope you really enjoy it. And yeah, we'll definitely be missing you and be thinking of you, mate. So yeah, hope you have a good spell.
Thanks, John. Yeah, looking forward to it. I'm sure my wife's looking forward to me not being in the simulator so much. Yeah, and it should be nice. Get out in the fresh air, change the scenery, refresh the brain, and watch some streams while I'm lying in bed.
Absolutely, mate. We'll give you a shout out. And on that note, we will say goodnight and see everybody again next week at the same time at 10 to 8 for round 3 from Road America. Thanks, everybody.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.